Hello, and thank you for joining us for an update on the College of Human Ecology, recorded especially for the classes reunioning this June. My name is Jennifer Ruin, and I'm the Assistant Dean for Alumni Affairs and Development. While having a virtual reunion wasn't part of our original plan, we felt it important to update each of you on the exciting things that are happening in the College of Human Ecology today. The person who's actually best suited to provide that update is our new incoming, fully appointed Rebecca Q. and James C. Morgan Dean of the College of Human Ecology, Rachel Dunifon. She'll officially transition to the role on July 1st after serving a 2-year term as interim dean. Rachel joined the Cornell faculty as a professor in the Department of Policy Analysis and Management in 2001. Prior to arriving at Cornell, she received a BA in psychology from Davidson College and her PhD in Human Development and Social Policy from Northwestern University. Rachel's research focuses on child and family policy, examining the ways in which policies, programs, and family settings influence the development of less advantaged children. She is continuing her research while serving as dean and is also co-director of Project 2Gen, which combines research, policy, and practice to address the needs of vulnerable children and their parents together. Without further ado, I give you Dean Dunifon.
Thank you so much, Jen, and congratulations on your reunion, everybody. It's really great to be able to share with you some of the really exciting things going on in the College of Human Ecology. Normally, I'd be doing this over a lovely breakfast on a Saturday on our beautiful campus, and I look forward to the time when we can come together again in person. But in the meantime, I'm really happy to talk with you about some of the great work that we're doing. So let me begin my presentation. Some of the topics I'll talk about today, first of all, of course, the COVID-19 pandemic and how we're managing it within the college as well as Cornell more broadly. I'm also going to share with you some of the great highlights of the work taking place in the college over the past year, and also talk to you about some of the things I'm excited about as we look toward the future. So the COVID pandemic played out in 3 stages across this campus. In the first stage, we pivoted from teaching in person to remote teaching with students leaving our campus. Next, we moved to all of us working remotely. And now with the stage that we're in at this point is to try to understand and mitigate the financial impact of the pandemic, as well as to prepare for the time when we can come back to campus. In terms of remote teaching, this required a huge effort amongst our faculty and staff, and it went incredibly well. If you told me, at the beginning of the year that in a period of just 3 weeks, we would be able to take all of our classes, transform them, put them online, and deliver them at a very high quality, I would have been amazed by that idea. But we did it, and it went really, really well. We had faculty who had to completely retool their classes so that they were appropriate for an online format. Staff who spent countless hours making sure that our faculty as well as our students had the right technology and internet capability to take part in this educational experience. It required a huge amount of work, a lot of patience and flexibility, and of course a huge amount of patience and flexibility amongst our students as well. But it went really, really well, and I'm really proud of how we all handled that. One of the great things that came out of this was to see the really innovative approach that a lot of our faculty took in doing this new form of teaching. So the picture that you see in the middle there, the series of pictures, is Juan Hinestroza, a faculty member in fiber science and apparel design. Juan is also an avid video gamer. And so he used video game technology to teach his classes remotely to his students. So you can see that he has a green screen behind him. He has a variety of different cameras set up, and he has the ability to write on a whiteboard, to share that with his students in real time, as well as share with them some of his designs on the projects that they're working on. We also had faculty also in our design departments who allowed students to create projects at home, send the schematics to campus, and we were able to laser cut them and 3D print them here on campus and ship their designs back to them. We had faculty thinking about interesting ways to engage with our students in small groups over Zoom, sharing their lectures in some interactive formats and things like that. And I've talked to the students on my Dean's Undergraduate Advisory Council and others, and they really, really appreciate the way that this semester went. They actually feel like it went very well. They got a lot out of it, and they're very grateful for the ways in which we dealt with this. That said, of course, we're all really eager to be able to come back to campus, and our students remain very eager to remain connected to us, even though they are all scattered across the United States and across the world. So we've done some really innovative things to keep students connected. And one of the things that I'm most excited about is the Humecathon. This is an annual event that we launched a couple years ago, and it's a hackathon style event in which human ecology students work in teams to tackle some of the most pressing social issues we face. We'd actually already had done our Humecathon event this year, but the students came to me with the idea of having another one that we had just this last Friday. And they came up with a topic that's relevant to all of us, which is how do we reactivate college campuses safely for in-person teaching? So we just recently had that event, and to me, that's the perfect topic for a human ecology student team. It relates to design, it relates to health, it relates to policy, human development, the development of adolescence. And so students formed teams to come up with fantastic ideas of how to think about the important and looming topic of reactivating our college campus for in-person teaching. You could see on the left, the recruitment poster. We had about 12 teams of 4 or 5 students each taking part of this event on a Friday afternoon. In the middle there, you see our Vice Provost for Undergraduate Education, Lisa Nishi. She is in charge of thinking for the whole Cornell University how we want to think about reactivating teaching in the fall. So she came to our Humecathon and shared with our student teams some of the things that she would find most useful as they do their work. We had fantastic ideas that came out of it. The winning team focused on the really important topic of maintaining student mental health during a time in which students may be back on campus, but things will still be quite different than they have been in the past. They came up with solutions for providing mental health services for students, promoting a message of solidarity around public health across campus, providing care kits for students who may need health supports. And so we had a variety of ideas. Other students came up with really creative ideas about the physical design of classrooms that would allow for safe social distancing for faculty and students. And it was just a really exciting and great experience. And I've shared what the students came up with Vice Provost Nishi and others. Another ways in which we're engaging our students can be seen on the bottom right of your screen. And those are the ways in which we're engaging our design students as they present to clients. So here you can see students in design and environmental analysis making pitches to clients over Zoom. And that's something that works really well. In addition to making this huge shift to remote teaching, we also, because of the restrictions in the state of New York, all of us had to shift to doing remote work. And this really, again, I'm just so impressed with how our faculty and staff rose to this challenge. It's really hard. You know, we have faculty and staff working with young children or others at home for whom they need to provide care, working in environments that are not where they typically spend their whole workday. But people, again, have been extremely adaptable, extremely flexible, and we've worked really hard to maintain our sense of continuity and community. So on the far right, you can see a all-staff coffee hour that we had a couple months ago. We also have staff participating in meditation and other events done virtually to promote mental well-being. And we have ongoing activities. Normally, we have weekly walks for staff that take place during the lunchtime across campus, and they're continuing those walks, but doing them virtually. So we're really working hard to stay engaged and connected, even though we're working remotely. The third aspect of COVID-19 is the significant financial impact that it has on Cornell, as well as all other institutions of higher education. The impact of COVID comes from many different factors. The largest, for sure, is our commitment to being a need-blind institution and meeting financial need. Because of the huge uptick in the unemployment rate, the big impact on the economy that is related to COVID, we expect a very significant increase in financial aid obligations to our current as well as our admitted students. The vast majority of our financial aid is paid out of our operating funds, and so that means we need to be able to provide those resources in the immediate term. Other factors that have an impact on our finance include a possible decline in philanthropy, loss of some other income. Certainly the state of New York has been hit very hard by this pandemic. And so we're also anticipating reductions in state support, as well as the possibility that international students might have a difficult time coming to campus in the near future, and that might have financial implications as well. Cornell has been thinking really carefully about how to approach these really significant financial challenges. And we're guided by these 4 principles that President Pollock has put forth and that I'm sharing with you here. You can see that the very first priority is caring for our students. And our second and equally important priority is maintaining our excellence as an academic institution. So Cornell and the college have undertaken a variety of steps so far to help mitigate the financial impact. We have a hiring freeze for staff. We've had voluntary salary reductions as well as a salary freeze. And we're also reducing travel, suspending all different kinds of discretionary spending, and also just rethinking other aspects of how we do our work so we could be more efficient going forward. Within the college, we're working really hard to prepare to meet those financial obligations to our students as well as maintain our excellence. And as we do so, we're really reflecting the priorities that President Pollock has articulated and really trying to be as conservative, as prepared as possible to meet our financial obligations. One of the things that's really hopeful is that we are now at the stage where we can start thinking about reactivating our campus. And so there are 3 different committees set up that I wanted to share with you to think about how we might reactivate our campus in different ways. The first is a research and operations committee that actually just completed its work a couple weeks ago. And we're now in the very beginning stages of restarting research in our labs at Cornell, which is very, very exciting. We're working really hard to maintain safety and social distancing and follow the guidelines of the state of New York as we do so. There's also a committee set up led by Vice Provost Nishi, who I was mentioning earlier, focused on how we can begin teaching in person on campus. It's incredibly complicated to think about how to do so. Opening up a campus with students coming from all over the world who gather together, but maintaining our public health commitment and social distancing is incredibly complicated. And so we have a really fantastic group of people working to map out what that would look like and how that might work. And it could happen in a variety of different ways in terms of how we teach and how we welcome students back on campus. And then we have a 3rd committee set up to think about what we would do if we were not able to restart teaching in the fall right away, and how we could learn from the experiences of online teaching this year and make it even better going forward if that was necessary. Cornell has not yet made a decision about the fall. That decision will likely be made at the end of June as these committees finish their work. And at that time, there'll be much more clarity about what the semester in the fall will look like for us. So pivoting away from the current situation and reflecting back over the year, I want to share with you some of the great accomplishments and some of the great work that took place in the college this year. First, I want to highlight some faculty awards that we were very pleased to see our faculty receive. On the far left is Tony Burrow. He received the inaugural Cornell Faculty Award for Excellence in Research, Teaching, and Service through Diversity. And this recognizes a Cornell faculty member who demonstrates sustained excellence in the area of diversity. Professor Burrow's research focuses on racial microaggressions and its impact on well-being. And he teaches a really large course on racial identity, which has a very significant impact on our students. In the middle, you see Professor Maureen Waller from the Department of Policy Analysis and Management. She was recently awarded the Engaged Scholar Prize, which is given to recognize a faculty member who has innovative approaches to connecting the community with her research and teaching. Professor Waller teaches a capstone class in PAM in which the students take on a local client, a community agency as their client, and their work over the course of the semester is to help that agency with one of their goals. And finally, we see Professor Steve Ceci from the Department of Human Development. He was one of only 2 faculty members at Cornell last year to be inducted into the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, which is an incredibly prestigious award. His research focuses on the role of context in shaping our memory. So he thinks about things such as when people witness a crime, what do they really remember, and how does that come out in courts and things like that. So it's really great to be able to recognize these fantastic faculty, as well as the rest of our amazing faculty. I'm also excited to announce that I've appointed some new leadership in the college. Maria Nella Casasola, a professor in human development, will begin July 1st as the new Senior Associate Dean for Undergraduate Education. And Nancy Wells from the Department of Design and Environmental Analysis will begin as the new Senior Associate Dean for Research and Graduate Education. So Maria, Nella, and Nancy will really comprise the core of my Dean's leadership team going forward. I'm really excited about the opportunity to work with both of them. One of our really great accomplishments this past year was a new collaboration with Weill Cornell Medical Department of Radiology to support our MRI Research Center, which is in MVR Hall. We're really excited to announce that Sumit Nayogi, a professor at Weill Cornell, is the new director of the Cornell MRI Center. And having the partnership between his expertise in radiology and the medical expertise that they have at Weill Cornell, and our research here in human ecology and at Cornell, which is focused on the human aspects of the brain, is going to be a very fantastic step forward for the MRI Center. We're launching a new pilot grant program to give more faculty the tools to use this technology in their work. And we're generally relying on Dr. Nayogi's expertise to make sure that the center is functioning in as streamlined and as efficient way as possible. So we're very excited about that new collaboration with Weill. Another fantastic thing that's been happening in the college, is that you're all aware, is the renovation of our historic 1933 MVR Hall. And you see here some of the most recent pictures from this renovation, which continues to take place even during the pandemic. You can see the installation of some beautiful Art Deco chandeliers in the auditorium. You can see the hallways in a very clean and modern design, but yet retaining some of our historic elements in the building. And you can also see that the work is proceeding really well and is almost done. So we expect it to be complete late summer. And then we'll be staging our move back in conjunction with guidelines about presence on campus and when we're able to fully occupy our spaces. But it's coming along fantastically. And I look forward to the next time when you're able to come to campus to allowing you to see this really beautiful renovation. I also want to highlight some of our research excellence, and this is just a smattering of the fantastic work that our faculty are doing. This example here relates to how the work of human ecology faculty pertains to the coronavirus epidemic. Of course, our work is broader than that, but the current situation that we're in really highlights the need for the applied multidisciplinary work focused on human health that we do in the College of Human Ecology. So just to conclude, some of the things that I'm really excited about as we go forward are listed here. And in particular, I'm really excited to work with all of you, as well as our faculty, students, and staff, to build on the excitement and commitment to the College of Human Ecology that we've seen over the past several years. I'm excited to launch a strategic planning process that'll allow us to really tighten and clarify our internal and external identity, to be able to really clearly convey who we are as a college and the impact and importance of what we do. And as we do so, I'm also excited to continue to take our unique perspective and use that to build collaborations across campus in the areas that we have particular strength, such as health, design, and policy. So we've got some really exciting years ahead of us in the College of Human Ecology. I'm really happy to lead the college during this time, and I'm really happy to be able to celebrate your reunions with you. So thank you so much, and I hope that you stay safe and healthy.